Hello, and welcome to Torches of Truth podcast, episode 3, Witnessing to Friends and Family, coming out of Christmas, New Year's, and Thanksgiving, all rolled into one. Many of us have been around family that we don't see very often, and sometimes friends that we don't see very often. When we're in these situations, we should make every opportunity to share the gospel with people we know, but that can be a lot harder than normal. So we're going to try to dive into various methods that we can use, why it's so scary, and just some things about ourselves to start off with. So start off with Keyan. Describe your best friend and why you're best friends.
Oh, that's a toughie. I have a lot of friends. Probably Isaac Bowden's my best friend. We both like almost the exact same things. We both want to be pilots when we get older. We both love baseball. Our dads are both pastors. We both play the drums. Just things like that. What about you, Alaina?
My best friend is his best friend's older sister, actually. And we became best friends through a online writing course called Young Writers Workshop. Highly recommend that to any people who are interested in writing who are between ages 13 and 15. But very similar to Keyan, we have a lot of similar interests. Love reading, love writing, especially we love reading like old classics, so we talk about books a lot. And there's some ways we are very different. She's a lot more empathetic than I tend to be a lot of the time. But we both love being very direct with each other, and that's been really good for me because I'm very direct as a person, and so is she. So a lot of it is because he knows, and so a lot of it has just been the fact that she is super solid in her faith, and so we have grown together over the past 3 or so years that we've been, almost 4 years that we've been friends now.
Well, that's good, Alaina.
Alrighty, so what is it?
One thing that we apologize about, last week we were trying to release a podcast, and it was a nightmare. We recorded the podcast, I think, 3 times. The first time our camera turned off, the second time our camera didn't start, and then the third time our microphone didn't turn on. So sorry about that, guys, and hopefully this one turns out better.
Yes. That was very interesting. I actually we don't normally listen to the clips right after we finish the podcast, so we were just so happy the camera actually worked, and then I went to go video edit, and I turned it up, and I was like, what's wrong? There was no sound. So I was like, what? So I thought it was an upload issue, so I went and listened to it, and there was 0 sound. So that was supposed to be, we were supposed to have a New Year's episode, but we went ahead and took off Christmas and New Year's because of that. Alrighty, so the first question is, why is it so hard to witness to friends and family? Most people that I've talked to, I don't think I've ever met anybody who says, yeah, it's a lot easier for me to have a gospel conversation with people that I know really well.
Mom.
Other than Mom. There's very few people that, at least that I've met, that think that's easy because you have a higher risk because you have a relationship with the person. So what are some other reasons, aside from, like I said, relational risk, that you can have like fears about regarding witnessing to your friends or family?
That's a good question. A lot of people are scared they're gonna offend people, like we just said. But it's also tougher because, like, if you're witnessing to your parents, if you're a parent, and I'm guessing most of the people watching aren't, since this is geared toward teenagers, but if you have your kids and you offend your parents, and then those kids will have to grow up without grandparents, and a lot of people are scared of that. They're afraid of losing family, to the relational risk. They are scared of just, how should I say this? They're scared of offending someone just because they don't want them to be mad at them, which for sensitive people like me, I can hear them there. I don't like offending people at all. Unless it's someone I really don't like. But it is hard when you are witnessing a family. You don't want to offend them. But sometimes the gospel is offensive, which it is. Saying people don't like it when you say they're sinners. So Jesus said that blessed is the one who is not offended by me. So that is tough, but we have to push through it because if we don't and we stay silent, these people are going to hell. And if we don't want them, we don't want to be pushy, but we also don't want to be a doormat and just let them run right over us without telling them the gospel. What about you?
Yeah, I definitely agree. The relational risk, I think, is pretty high depending on the person. A lot of the times I found out that if you will get into gospel conversation with friends or family, unless you have, like for instance, a Muslim family, something like that, where it is very extremely anti-Christian, atheist possibly, most people are open to at least hearing what you have to say. The biggest hurdles I think that I've heard of are number one for kids and teens specifically. If you're witnessing to an older cousin, to an aunt, uncle, grandparent, parent, something like that, these people have seen you grow up from when you were a baby. So for you to go and talk with them and tell them, hey, you're a sinner and you're going to hell, like that can be, it can hurt people's pride whenever they see someone that they have known forever confront them on some type of an issue like that. Not saying, that's perfectly fine that you are talking with them about that, as I said, but it can be difficult for that. For friends, the same thing can kind of happen. It can be, why are you talking to me like this? You're the same age as me, you're younger than me, something like that. But a lot of the time, a lot of the fear that you feel is not legitimate. Most people aren't super anti-Christian. They're just kind of there. They don't really care specifically about most religion. A lot of people, especially in our culture, are very passive, and I believe I've said this before, they are okay to engage in conversation with you. They may not agree, and they're kind of like, you do you, whatever. So witnessing to friends and family isn't honestly as hard as it seems, but it can be hard to get yourself to a mindset where you're willing to do it. I think a lot of it's mental, honestly.
Okay. So, what are some times you have witnessed to friends and family?
For family, I have not witnessed to a lot of people. I've had some conversations about biblical things. My family that we're around most of the time is saved, so we haven't had a whole lot of like needing to actually witness to them. We just mostly bring up just talking about Christ with them. I've witnessed to several of my friends over the years, and it's honestly always gone well. Not always have they become Christians, but it's opened doors for other people to speak into their lives, and they have been saved through that. Sometimes you don't know what you say can plant a seed, and you might not know it for years. You may not ever know it until you get to eternity. But just planting that seed is really important. What about you?
I'd say probably the same. I haven't witnessed to a ton of my family because I've witnessed to one of my second cousins, but he said he's already a Christian. I don't know if he truly is. I don't know his heart, but some of the fruits that he shows aren't the best. Like he constantly takes God's name in vain, so that's not a great sign that he is saved. But he does say that he wishes he could stop, but he does go to public school, so that's probably a little tough, but it's still not a great fruit that he is saved. I've witnessed to several of my friends and people that I know. Only one of them has gotten saved, and I do not know where he is anymore. I witnessed to one of my friends on my basketball team a few weeks ago. And they normally go well. I haven't had anybody get ticked off or anything like that, really. Some people get weirded out for like when I witness the neighborhood kids, things like that. Some of them get weirded out because they are younger, so they don't really want to talk about things like this. But in general, people are open to talking about religious things. We do hang around a lot of Christians. We hang around more Christians than non-Christians probably. Just because of church, we go to church. We do all the kinds of stuff with our church and stuff. So, but for the majority, all of my witness encounters with friends have gone well. but some people aren't open to it really, and it can get really awkward, just so you know.
But it's worth it.
Yes,
So
it is.
planting the seed, even if you're not the one who brings it to growth completely, is always worth it.
Mm-hmm.
How can you go about sharing to friends and family humbly? Because, as I said, especially for people who are witnessing to adults, they can, if they've seen you since you were little, this can go for people in your church as well that may not be saved. If they've seen you grow up, even like not a baby, maybe you were like 12 and now you're 16, 17, and you stop it, and you go and witness to them, then sometimes their pride can be hurt. So it is very important to be humble. What are some characteristics of humility that you can show, or ways you can phrase things that would be more humble?
That's a good question. I would say approach them humbly. Like, don't just like, hey, I got something to tell you. Do not do that. Very sad, highly not suggest doing that. If you're on fire for the Lord, just go for it. But I wouldn't recommend that. Approach them like knowing that you have committed the same sins as you. Like when you're showing them you're a sinner, tell them that you have done the same things, that you don't think that you're any better than them or something like that. Because we're not. We're saved by Jesus, but apart from him, we are absolutely nothing. But we should also communicate it in probably a humble voice, not like an imposing, you are a sinner, you are going to hell. Sorry, Mr. Friel. But I love Mr. Friel. But I wouldn't do it like that. He is a TV host, but I would do it humbly. Like when you see Mr. Friel or Ray Comfort on the streets, they are very humble and they speak in like a quiet, soft voice. That's how God spoke to Elijah in the wilderness, in a still, small voice. So just speak to them in a still, small voice. Be humble in your tones. Just like speak to them, not acting like you're just like soaking up your attention and just yelling at them or anything like that. You can be passionate, but you don't want to make it look like that you are like this powerhouse who's got it all together or something like that, which you don't. You're sinners just like they are. You are saved by grace, but we ourselves are nothing. So you can show them that what Christ can do for them, like he has done through you. So just approach them humbly like that. You can probably come up with some ways on your own. You can just think about it. Ask your parents. If they are believers, ask your pastor, and they'll probably give you some other ways too. But what do you think, Alaina?
Well, yes, definitely what he said. The tone matters a lot. Body language also. If you're like crossing your arms, hands on your hips, something like intimidating, like, okay, ape man. Don't believe in evolution, but he kind of looks like one.
Big hands, big feet, long arms.
But yeah, definitely tone of voice matters a lot. I can struggle with this because, as I said earlier in this video, I am very direct and I want to cut to the point right away and no nonsense, kind of don't mince words. And I've had to learn over the years. My mom has been tremendous help with this because she is very soft-spoken in her tone and things like that. So she's helped teach me a lot. But definitely tone matters. Facial expressions, attentively listen, so not just like looking all over the place instead of looking at them. Ask them questions, and whenever they ask, like genuinely like nod your head if you agree, kind of like go like eye contact matters a lot, things like that. As far as like how to bring it up, I think honestly, if you're in a friend and family setting, most of the time you guys are going to be talking about something, and it's not going to be natural to just go up and be like, hey, can I tell you about Jesus? That's just kind of off-putting. They're going to be like, okay. But just bringing up a casual conversation, just be like talking about the weather, talking about sports, talking about whatever.
What do you think the weather's going to be like when Jesus comes back?
No. And then be like, there was this really good message at church. Would you mind if I talked to you about that? Something like that. Like, what'd you do this week? Oh, I went to church and Bible study. And we had this. Did you guys go to church this week? If they're like our family, where they go to church pretty regularly, things like that. And then you can get in spiritual conversations that way, kind of gauge where they are. And sometimes, if you have for the family members already Christians, it can just be a good way to honestly just talk with them about the gospel and remind them of that. And if they aren't Christians, then just be like, would you mind if I told you something that happened to me this week? And then you can tell them what you learned in your Bible study, and then go into kind of like that. And it can kind of be natural, and they might ask you more, and if they don't, then that's okay. And you can just go on. With friends and family, like relational type evangelism, most of the time you're not going to have the opportunity to go just straight law gospel, asking them the questions, stuff like that. It's better to just kind of summarize it, and if they ask you more questions, then it shows that they're open and you can kind of go on. Of course, if you can do the law, that's great, but I know from personal experience, most of the time, it's not going to work really well to be like, have you ever told a lie? And kind of just go like that in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner.
They look up from the turkey. What?
Yep, I lied about how many pieces of pie I ate.
It's like, no, I didn't eat 4. I ate 6 or 7. I don't
Keyan?
know. Oh, and another helpful tool, have Segway competitions. Right, we do that in our family. We did it once in our family. We would come up with a word or something, and they would have to try to segue into it. Like we were like here, let me show you an example. Just like chicken. You have to segue from the gospel from chicken.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Are you too chickeny about Jesus?
Just like that.
This is not normal. This is not normal. Okay, just
It's
as a
fun.
warning. It is very fun. But honestly, I gave an example in the podcast that we recorded like 20 times that I wasn't able to actually release. But like I said, bringing up a casual conversation. If you have a hobby that you really like, or you have a certain object that you really like. This is an example. My brother, Zane, has autism. Not him, but my youngest brother has autism. And he loves roller coasters. Like, this is his world. He talks about them all the time. He reads it. He researches about it. He has a roller coaster building set thing on the computer that I don't know about because I'm not techie.
Tycoon 2.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
And he loves it. And because of autism, kids with autism fixate on one specific thing, or three, and that's all they talk about. So if any of you guys know Zane, or if you've met Zane, he's talked to you about roller coasters at some point. If you think of Zane, you immediately think, oh yeah, he's a guy who loves roller coasters or whatever. So if he can do that with roller coasters, then why can't we do that with the gospel? We should be so passionate about the gospel that is the only thing that people know us by. If they don't remember anything else, they should remember that we're passionate for Christ, and they should know that that's our life mission. If people do not know that about you as your primary thing, it's probably because you have not made a point to talk with people about this. Sometimes people just if you're in certain settings, they may see you as a little bit different, and they may automatically just think, oh, we associate you with, like, I play basketball, so people on the basketball team may be like, oh yeah, like, she loves basketball or whatever. But most of the time, people should know you for what you love most, and that should always be Christ. So bringing the conversation just back to things you're interested in, if you can do that, then you 100% can bring it back to what Jesus is. If you can talk about your favorite basketball team because you're really hyped about the fact that they just won some tournament game, then you can definitely bring it back to Jesus.
Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye.